Hey crafty people, it's Tasha here for Trinity Stamps, and I'm back with another tutorial. Today I'm going to be covering some repeat stamping techniques for this fall themed card using some of the smaller stamps that you would get in a set. So I'm using the Harvest Rainbow stamp set, which is just beautiful. There's this gorgeous rainbow and puffy cloud made out of all these autumnal images, just gorgeous. But I saw this little pumpkin in the set. It's so cute, little diddy thing, and it's a 2-layered one, so you get the solid stamp and then there's a bit of a detail image to go over the top as well, and I just loved it and I knew that I needed to make with it. So I grabbed out a load of ink colours. Most of them are Catherine Pooler. I will have them all listed over on my blog if you are interested. And yeah, I decided that I was just going to go for it. And this card took a while, I'm not going to lie, but it was so worth it. So I started with a panel of Nina £80. This is slightly bigger than the mini Slimline because I knew that I was going to cut it down with one of the dies. I wanted to be able to choose which part I liked best. So I just cut it. You just need to make sure that at least the bottom edge is straight so that you don't have any issues when stamping like this. So I loaded the panel up into my MISTI, and then I'm using my little creative corner here just to help me position the stamp. Basically, I just chose that was how far up from the bottom I was going to start, and I roughly measured how wide the stamp was and what I wanted the distances to be either side. I roughly got it to about 3 squares. And I just started shifting and stamping and shifting and stamping. And when I'd done one row, I shifted my creative corner up. And I just kept going like that basically until I had this full panel covered in glorious pumpkin images in just the most beautiful of fall colours. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited because I love autumn. It's my favourite time of the year, and these are like my favourite cards to make, and it's just such a good time of year. It's like still summer technically, but I'm like, go away, I'm ready for fall. So when I'd got them all, the whole panel covered, I grabbed out the detail layer for the image, and you can see there's a little scrap of paper up to the top there. That's just because I wanted to test out which colour to put on top for the detail layer, because I didn't want to use black or just use brown or whatever. I wanted it to be a tone on tone kind of look. So to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, I used a scrap of paper just to test them. So up to now these are all Catherine Pooler, but then I do grab in a couple of Pink Fresh inks and an Altenew ink as well, just because I was colour matching to get the best tone on tone kind of look, and it's just so glorious. I love it. I do, and it is one of those cards it took forever, but it doesn't matter because I think it's just going to live on my wall because I love it that much. Calm down, Tash. So I'm just showing you a couple for each colour of how I added the detail layer. You'll notice I'm just using an acrylic block here because it doesn't have to be perfectly lined up. In fact, quite a few of them are not, but it doesn't matter. I was going for that kind of look. It's not like a really detailed multi-layer stamp where it really matters or you really see if if something's not in line or whatever. it's just, yeah. And it was just so much easier to stamp those with an acrylic block than it would have been to set up the MISTI again. So I grabbed out, these are, I want to say, like fancy layered mini slimline. We'll have it linked. Terrible with names. But yeah, this is one of the newer mini slimline die sets. It is 3 separate dies, but at this point I've not cut them apart, and I just decided that I was going to just cut into the panel. And I'm not going to lie, at this point I was nervous. I was very nervous. You know, I just spent ages making that, so I was really hoping that it was going to pull off, but I sort of got all my die cut stuff ready to go while I decided, do I still dare, before I actually ran anything through. So I grabbed some double-sided adhesive sheet, and I've just applied that to the back of a piece of Nina £80 again. Just use the top of that scrap that I was using to test colours, and I'm going to cut this thankful word out. Now, it's really, really important to do the technique that I'm going to be doing with it. You need to cut into the sticky side. It has to be the sticky side, otherwise you would end up with a back to front word, which I'm not here for. I don't want that. So this thankful die also comes with a shadow, so I cut the shadow from vellum. Here is when I'm like taking it out, and I'm really like pleading with everything that it works and that I like it, and I'm like cautiously, oh yeah, I just wanted to show you as well, pokey tool on the other end of the pickup stick is perfect for getting all those little bits out of the die. So I stacked up another 2 pieces of the Nina £80 and ran that through in the die. Because I was being lazy, I wanted another 2, and I didn't want to run it through twice. So I thought, we'll call it an experiment to see whether the die can handle it. And it could. It cut through both pieces. That's awesome. So I used some liquid adhesive to add not the outer frame, the inner sort of frame. I stacked up 2 of the whites and then put the coloured one on top, and set that all aside while I worked on my sentiment. So the reason why I wanted the sticky on the top is because what I'm doing here, I've just got it on a piece of scrap paper and I'm peeling the release paper from the top. Again, you can see the pickup tool, pokey side of it, perfect for all these kind of jobs. And I'm just covering it in some fine glitter. Now, I know that people may see glitter and just say, no way, no, not me. And I was one of them. I didn't like it. But this is like ultra fine glitter, and when you buff it on, I'm just using the release paper that I peeled off earlier when I stuck it to the paper. When you really buff it down with a bone folder, couldn't remember the name then, and then I just like to sort of rub over it to make sure, then all that glitter is trapped. None of that is going to come away. So I decided to add a couple of sub-sentiments, and I used that from the Scripty additional sentiment, again can't remember the name, stamp set. I stamped that out in the brown ink. Then I had a tip here for fussy cutting. I wanted to bubble cut like all the sentiment, but I'm not really the best at fussy cutting. I'm okay if I really pay attention, but most of the time I don't pay attention, and I end up ruining it. So the way that I get around that, it does take a bit longer, but I think it's worth it, is that I just draw around the word or whatever I'm fussy cutting with a pencil where I want to cut, and then when I'm cutting I can just follow the line, and that's so much easier for me. So I just wanted to include that because it might help. Also, you can see I'm keeping the scissors completely still, and I am moving the cardstock, the image, the word, whatever that I'm fussy cutting because that is so much easier. You're going to get a much smoother cut, especially round corners and bends. So I'm going to make a card base, and I don't very often include this in my videos because I don't feel the need, but I really wanted to show you that Trinity's mini slimline size is 3x6, so it's so easy to make a card base for that. All you need to do is cut a 6x6. I use Nina 110 pound for my card bases. Score it in the middle, fold it over. Jobs are good in. You've got a finished card base, and I just think that's really cool. So I added some repositionable adhesive onto the inside just to keep it still while I assembled all of the card, but you do need to make sure that you know which way is off so that you're sticking your card together the right way up. I'm sort of laughing because I have done that before. So I added the outside frame first because I just thought that was easiest, and then the inner frame, and then the inner piece. So I'm adding my thankful word onto the vellum die cut shadow. I've just added some dots of liquid adhesive to the back. That way I'm limiting the amount of adhesive that is going to come into contact with the vellum, because if it squidges out, you're going to see that, and vellum can go all like sort of wrinkly. So I just added a few dots of glue behind. That's my daughter's teddy. If you are a regular to my videos, you know that they make appearances every now and then. And that one's Chewbacca. So I'm adding my two little sub-sentiments, and I'm just gluing those straight down onto the card base. So my finished sentiment will read, "So thankful for you." And I love it. I do. It just makes me happy. It's everything that I love. Everything that I love about fall. Everything I love about fall. Yeah, super happy with it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. And if you aren't already subscribed to our channel, then please do consider hitting that button. We have inspiration, just loads of it, and this release is so good. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe, and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.